All right, we are live on YouTube and also simulcasting live on Facebook. Welcome to Navigating the Modern World with Coach Eli. Glad you can all join me here tonight. It is Tuesday, June 22nd, the day that this live stream is being broadcasted and recorded. And before we get right to it, let me just make sure that everything is rolling smoothly. Let me make sure that the YouTube notification has gone out, and it absolutely has. Ooh. I was kind of rushing to get this show going, so I didn't situate myself as best as possible. My apologies for that. Let me also check out the back end of YouTube and make sure that things are rolling smoothly, and they absolutely are. And let me also check out Facebook and make sure that things are running smooth over there, because they're doing events a little bit, they're doing actually live streams a little bit differently. They're giving you this option to create an event instead of just a straight up live stream. They're like transitioning from the old way to the new way, so I got to get used to it. So I need to make sure that it's running smoothly. So let's check. All right, let me go to my happening now. All right, so how do I, let's see. What is going on here? Well, it says go live now. I should be live, and, live video. So where is the live video at? Okay, well, it looks like the Facebook, the new way of doing things is not working properly. So let me see. Yeah, it should be good. I don't understand why it is not, I can't access this live stream. It shows that it's going through on my end. Give me just one more second here, folks. My apologies on that. All right, you know what? I'm just going to roll with it, and I'm going to let it go. And I'll have to figure this out another time. I'm not quite sure what is going on, but it is what it is. I think we're just on YouTube tonight. And, does it seem to be starting now? Oh, it seems to be starting now. Now it says I'm live on Facebook. That's weird. Now it's showing that I'm live on Facebook, and it started like 2 or 3 minutes after I started sending the stream to Facebook. So let me check one more thing. Okay, here I am. Does it seem 2 minutes after I started sending the stream? I don't know what's going on. Facebook was lagging today. Oh, well. One more thing before we get right to it here. This channel and business and my Facebook, arena of sharing my video out there is sponsored by my good friend Troy Brewer. He is the CEO, founder, and owner of the Discover Community Network. Troy is one of the most amazing people when it comes to your branding and marketing, and when it also comes to getting the right products and services for your business or for certain aspects of your personal life as well. Troy is one of the most trusted people that I personally trust when it comes to branding and marketing, entrepreneurship, and getting the right products for your business and even your home at the best possible prices from the most trustworthy people in their specific industries. If you'd like more information about Troy, go below the description about a third of the way down the YouTube side of things and click the top link, discovercommunitynetwork.com. or on Facebook. You can go to the top at the search bar and type in Discover Community Network. You will actually get redirected to the Facebook business page. And from there, you can find out how to connect with Troy. Or if you would like a little more hand-holding and you want me to personally introduce you to Troy through email and even set up a free phone consultation with Troy, and if you even want me to be on that consult with you, no problem. Troy and I both have no problem with that. Just email me at Coach Eli at coacheli@eliasmelas.com. The link to my email is below in the description. Same thing on Facebook. It's in the description section. And that is that. So, Troy, thank you very much for your continued sponsorship and patronage of this business, my channel on YouTube, Facebook, or wherever else I put out my content and promote you out there as well. Lots of love from Coach Eli and the Coach Eli clan. All right. All right. So, yeah, now that everything is rolling smoothly and we're all set to rock and roll, before we get to it, let me check out the YouTube side of things. Lewis Fuller's in the house. He says, good afternoon. Eli just gave you a like. Well, it's evening, Lewis. It's evening time, but that's okay. Who's counting, Lewis? Welcome to the show. Just gave you a like. Thank you. Queen Helen Casey's in the house. The Queen is here. You're good. Hello, Eli, says BWYA Gaming. Hello, BWYA Gaming and Queen. BWYA says, hello, Queen. Riff Michaels in the house. Notification did come up. Let's focus on what is undoubtedly quality content. Well, what do you mean by that, Riff? This is quality content. It's all good. BWYA Gaming says, hello, Riff. Queen says some very kind, polite words regarding her thoughts on Facebook. We'll leave it at that. Riff Mago says, hello, Gaming and Queen. BWI says, how are you doing, Queen? Riff says, the quality is mind-blowing, truly mind-blowing. Is that a joke, bro, or are you serious? Because it is pretty damn good quality at 1080p, 60 frames per second on the YouTube side of things with my brand new Sony A6400, mirrorless digital camera with a great, video output as well. So, wow. Rip says, my sarcasm is sponsored by Gibson, Fender, and all the other guitar companies, right? All right, that's cool. That's cool, Riff. Queen says, hello, gaming. And hello, Riff, and hello, Lewis. All right, we're all set to go. We are all set to go. Yeah, so, Queen, I know you missed the stream that I did a couple days ago from the studio, the day after all the issues happened. It ran flawlessly, and it's running flawlessly again right now. There was a major issue with the YouTube live streaming server that night when OBS kept cutting me off and reconnecting me. The servers were overloaded. So everything's all good, and it's all back to normal. So wonderful. That's wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. All right. Okay, so Rip says, I'm as serious as a goth girl. Come on, dog. BWYA Gaming says, LOL. All right. So let's get right to it, folks. Tonight's topic is, does hiring an online dating coach work, or is there a better option? One more time. Does hiring an online dating coach work, or is there a better option? Well, obviously, if I'm doing this topic, because I'm not an online dating coach, I am a life coach. Now, do I help people, with their relationship questions and issues and stuff like that regarding dating and marriage? Sure do. Do I also help people, on the business side of things, whether they're working in the corporate world for somebody else, or they're an entrepreneur, or they want to transition to become an entrepreneur? I do that, yes. But do I consider myself a dating coach? No, I am not a dating coach. I am a life coach. But do I understand what's happening in today's modern world regarding dating and how crazy it is? Absolutely. So I would not have done this topic if I didn't feel there was a better way to do this. And I felt that I had a better way to offer, right? Obviously, I do this, right? I do have a better way to offer. And I'm going to share more about that in a bit. But what prompted me to talk about this? I scour the internet pretty much all day, every day, whether I'm on my iPhone or on my laptop. And I like to read articles about other people's experiences regarding topics that I discuss. And I came across this one article on the internet that I'm going to, read to you folks and critique along the way. It was quite interesting. And why don't we just do this? Let's just, well, hold on a second. Let me see. What is Rick saying in the chat? San Francisco Bay Area, proof or your money back. Okay. Well, let's just go ahead and switch over to the browser screen. And let's just get right to this. Because it's going to take a little while to go through this. I'm going to take a break halfway through at about the 35 to 45 minute mark and then come back and finish up the rest. But let's get to the article here. And I'm going to turn off the chat for a second so you can actually see the title. The rest will fit in perfectly. I hired an online dating coach and this is what happened. Spoiler alert, it is a lot. I hired an online dating coach and this is what I learned. Spoiler alert, it is a lot. This is a woman. If you look at the bottom, the bottom left of your screen towards the bottom, you'll see the lady's name is Diana Bruck. This was written on May 24th, 2018. And if I go and open up a little more information about Diana, let's just turn up the chat for a second. I want you to see who she is. Diana is a senior editor who writes about sex and relationships, modern dating trends, and health and wellness. Appeared in the Paris Review, Salon, and all these other, different publications. You can read that for yourself. So she's a senior editor, right? And because she's a senior editor that writes about sex and relationships, it makes me lead to believe that this article was somewhat fabricated in the way it was written. And that's why I like to, put my spin on these articles that I see on the internet because, number one, I like to make people aware of whether I feel they are legitimate, genuine or not. And number two, whether they are, written for a genuine reason or not. A lot of times there's still great information that you can share. So as I get further into this, you're going to understand what I'm saying because this woman hired a dating coach that's quite costly. A female dating coach that's quite costly. And that's what makes me wonder about the legitimacy of this this article. May I suggest a different name? Oh, listen, Riff. I'm not going to respond to trollish type of stuff, bro. I'm serious, dude. I understand you have a sense of humor and you're a funny dude and it's all good. And I'm not mad at you and we're not getting rid of you. It's all good. I'm here to run a serious channel. I'm here to run a serious channel and truly help people. So, you can continue to type whatever you want. I'm just going to pick and choose what I'm going to talk about in the chat or not. Okay. I really want to help people that seriously want to learn. And I'm not getting my panties all, tied up in a bunch or anything like that, however you say it. It just is what it is. But anyway, let's get right to it. Let's go back to the other page here. Full confession. I hate online dating. Okay, a lot of people do. I believe it dilutes the magical process of meeting someone into a sterile affair that makes me feel like I'm an HR rep sifting through endless resumes. That's a great way to put it. When I first read this earlier today, I was like, that is a great way to describe online dating. I believe it dilutes the magical process of meeting someone into a sterile affair that makes me feel like I'm an HR, human resources representative working for a big company, right? Sifting through endless resumes. That's actually well put, I have to say. It also feeds into the paradox of choice. The seemingly bottomless array of options offered up by online dating, makes people less likely to make any decisions at all. Yeah, it's true. I have to tell you, I've had the same problem lately myself, but I think for me, the reason why, even though I'm talking to a lot of women, why I really haven't made a lot of effort for one of them is because I just don't feel any one of them is the complete right fit. And I think women are going through the same thing. And I think online dating, does that to everyone to a certain extent. For some people, it does that completely because there are so many options. It's like you're going through all these options trying to find the best fit, and it gets overwhelming. And like the blog author says, it's like an HR rep sifting through endless resumes. It's like, okay, who do you hire? Who do you hire? And now you have to interview all these people. Like online dating is the same thing. You talk to all these people, then you have to interview every single one of them, and then you have to meet them if you want a chance of it going anywhere, right? It's pretty crazy. And again, it also feeds into the paradox of choice. The seemingly bottomless array of options offered up by online dating makes people less likely to make any decisions at all. Yeah, you can sit there and connect with a woman and show her interest, and she shows you interest. And you have one phone conversation, right? And then next thing you know, poof, nothing more, right? Right? And I've noticed in the past, like when I would follow up with women or start to chase them a little bit, they ended up paying a little bit more attention. But if you overly pursue them, then, they're going to go the other way and they're not going to talk to you. They're going to ghost you, right? But what I'm looking for, to be honest with you, is I'm looking for a woman that after one phone conversation, she's so enamored by my personality that she can't wait to reach out to me the next day. That's, the women I've dated in the past, that's what's happened. Our first phone conversation was so great, they couldn't wait to reach out to me again. They reached out to me the next day, and we set up a date, we met, and then we moved things forward. But the women I've been talking with lately, not one of them has done that. And I haven't done things much differently than I've done in the past. I mean, I've tweaked things up a little bit because things keep changing in this modern dating world. But, I'm just coming across, I guess, a lot of women that aren't completely into me. And that's what's going to happen with most people. Like most people you come across in the dating world are not going to have a 9 or 10 level of attraction for you. So they're going to have some attraction for you, but it's going to be a 5, 6, or 7 level of attraction. And, their level of interest is going to be mediocre to the point of where they're not going to go out of their way to reach out to you. They're going to look at their other options. But if you follow up with them, they might get back to you and say, hey, okay, let's meet next weekend or whatever, right? Because they have other options they're more interested in, right? Because of the sea of love that's flooding, the online dating world. But a woman that's really into you, or a guy that's really into a woman, is going to want to meet right away. So even for you guys out there, that are communicating with women through online dating, if a woman is attracted to you at a level 8, 9, or 10, okay, has a high level of attraction, she's going to reach out to you after that first phone call the next morning through a text. Good morning. I'd love to meet you. When are you free to meet? Right? She's going to make the effort. And that's part of what I teach that you're not going to see in this article here, right? You're going to see more than negative stuff, right? And it's normalized some truly terrible behavior like ghosting, orbiting, and breadcrumbing. Yeah, ghosting happens all the time. I've been ghosted. I've ghosted women. It happens. So it's like, that's just, it is what it is. It just happens that way nowadays. Orbiting. The orbiting is like when you have a bunch of people on backup status. This is something more so women do than men. Like women will talk to a bunch of people and they'll have 10 people on backup status. Those are called the male orbiters, right? That are sticking around thinking that if they're patient, stuck in friend zone, they're going to get the chance when the truth of the matter is they're just a male orbiter, right? And breadcrumbing. Breadcrumbing, I've talked about this before, it's been a while. Breadcrumbing is where a woman will continuously lead you on by touching base with you every few days or every week or so. Oh, I'm busy. I'm going on a trip for a couple of weeks. I'm hanging out with friends and family this weekend. She'll keep on throwing you breadcrumbs to keep you around. When the truth of the matter is you're on backup status, right? If we go to the next page here, because there are a lot of, things highlighted. Whoops. Oh, I thought I was going to take me to another site, but it didn't. But anyway, that's what breadcrumbing is. Breadcrumbing is like leading you on to believe you're going to have a chance as long as you're patient and, you're compliant, right? Women more so do that than men. Turning people into disposable objects. That's right. That's what's happening. The online world is turning people into disposable subjects. Not to mention, in the era of tech addiction, I hate the idea of spending any more time scrolling through my iPhone than I absolutely have to. I couldn't agree with you any more than that. I mean, that's totally true. That's totally true. All right, let me check out the chat real quick here. All right. Oh, Facebook's looking good. Hey, Claudia, how are you doing? There's a lot of scams and even the dating sites are very disappointing. Many fake profiles, not safe. And even some tubers recommend these sites as good and honestly, they are lying. I don't know if there's actually a real dating coach or guide that can provide results. Well, here's the thing. I never promise results to people. I don't even, look at it as something that's based on results. I look at it as I'm going to share my experiences with people and I'm going to give them some advice. And I'm going to let them know, hey, look, this is what's worked for me. And this is probably why things aren't working out for you in a similar situation. So this is what my suggestion is to do, right? But I don't promise, people a pipe dream or anything like that, and I don't charge an arm and a leg. I'm very, very reasonably priced. And a lot of the stuff that I do, I give away for free on YouTube and Facebook. So, and the reason why I can do that is because on YouTube, I'm a monetized channel. I get ad revenue and people can donate, and people could donate on Facebook as well too. But there are a lot of fake profiles on online dating, Claudia, on the Facebook side of things. But there are also a lot of good people out there. And then there are a lot of people that aren't fake, but, are playing the game, looking for something, not serious, looking for a hookup, one night stand, etc. You have to go through online dating and filter out the good from the bad from the ugly, right? You have to filter that all out and you have to take chances, right? But I think most people nowadays are able to tell, who's fake and who's not. So that's that. But thank you so much for being here, Claudia. I appreciate your comment. I'll check in on Facebook periodically every 5 or 10 minutes or so. On the YouTube side of things, let's see. Queen says, why couldn't she write a book about it instead of putting it online? Because she's probably getting paid to do these types of things. Some people that are editors, Queen, are bloggers and or not bloggers, bloggers and bloggers too. Sometimes they do video as well, and it's just easy for multiple sites to share the same story. I'm pretty sure this story is on multiple sites, so it's just probably part of her contract. She's getting paid to do this. And then wait till we get to the online dating coach that she supposedly used, and I'll share with you folks what it costs, and which I feel is BS. I don't feel she paid for it, but I'll get to that in just a little bit here. BWYA Gaming says, I can see how it would be like sifting through resumes. Yeah, it's a tedious process. That's why a lot of people are tired of online dating, and they're so turned off by it. It's not that you can't meet anybody good on online dating. It's a tedious process that just, it's very draining. It's very draining, all for the possibility of possibly meeting someone, right? Whereas in person, if you run into somebody, you're going to see them right away. You're either going to click or you're not, right? But the difference of meeting someone in person compared to meeting someone online is you don't know if somebody's single in person. Online, you more so know that someone's single unless they put that they're single and they're married trying to play a game. But you know what I'm saying. If someone's on online dating, you know that they're single. If you come across a woman at the supermarket in the produce section, even if she's not wearing a ring, maybe her ring's hidden, who knows? She could still be married, or she might have a boyfriend, right? So you never know. You never know. So there's good and bad to both. Let's see. Queen says, I'd rather date myself before I do a man. Come on, Queen. Oh, man. This is lots of fun. Claudia says, you are different, you are real and nice, but in general, I could not trust anyone. Oh, Claudia, I wouldn't go as far and say I'm a nice guy. I'm a good guy. Maybe I am a nice guy. I just don't say nice guy because the nice guy stigma. Nice guys finish last, right? But no, I consider myself to be a good guy, and I appreciate it. I mean, you've known me for a while now through Northern California networking, and I appreciate your thoughts. How have things been going for you? Have you been using online dating lately, or what's been going on? Have you been having your own issues with that? I'm curious to hear your stories. That would be interesting as well. Queen says it's safer. It may be safer, Queen, but I mean, how boring would it be to live life without having someone to share it with in a romantic and intimate way? That's just my opinion. Anyway, we are at 28 minutes. Let's continue here because this is going to take a while. Given that I'm busy and that it is so popular, I decided to give the world of online dating another go, but this time with some professional assistance. My previously terrible experience with a dating coach showed me how important it is to get a good one. So I enlisted the help of New York City's top matchmaker, Samira Sullivan. Wow, you named her by name. Or you mentioned her name, which is what I'm trying to say. Maybe Samira is your friend and you're just promoting her. I don't think you paid her. Listen to this. The elite matchmaker who runs the service Lasting Connections. Oh, so we're guaranteeing connections now. Lasting Connections, great name for a business. Predominantly works with high-profile clients for a hefty price tag. Her services start at $45,000 for a year of in-depth coaching. Wow! 45 grand is more than many people make annually. I wouldn't say here in the Bay Area. You could not live off of that in the Bay Area. I'm saying pretty much anywhere else. The average income is around 45, 50 grand a year. Her services start at $45,000 for a year of in-depth coaching that includes everything from running your dating profile to choosing your wardrobe. But you get what you pay for, and her success rate is one to be envied. I'm sorry. You can't make any promises when it comes to connecting someone with the opposite sex. You can't. You just can't. Now, what I think may be going on with this woman is that she realizes that 97% of the men in this world are beta mons, beta mons, beta mons. Like I've been saying for quite a while now, 97% of the men in this world are beta males, right? And any cute, adorable woman that approaches them, they'll give that woman the time of day. So maybe this dating coach is saying, well, if 97% of the men are beta males, then I could put a guarantee out there saying that, hey, if you pay me 45 grand per year for my in-depth coaching service that includes, me writing your dating profile for you and choosing your wardrobe and telling you what to say and basically, being you, I'm going to be, myself in your body, right? Now you have to tell me, folks, is that the best way to coach somebody? Write their dating profile, tell them what to wear, etc. Right? I mean, seriously, if you need help with your wardrobe by a certain age, and you need help writing an online dating profile that tells people what you enjoy doing and who you are, then you're not ready for dating, in my opinion. But yeah, you've got this woman charging 45 grand a year for her top package, making a guarantee that you're going to have a lasting connection if you use my service. This is where I believe this is all fabricated here. I'm sure this woman went on a date and maybe got her services, but got her services probably for free. And in return for, this dating coach providing her services for free, she's getting free promotional coverage on these blogs. That's what I think is happening here. She also provides a virtual coaching program. Rates start at $6,500 for 3 months. Wow. $6,500 for 3 months. Wow. That's over 3 grand. So that's over 2 grand per month, in which her matchmaking coach takes over your profile, writing your bio, taking professional shots of you, choosing people for you to message, and providing feedback and guidance on your exchanges. Wow. This is insane, right? Like, seriously, it's almost like going through a complete makeover just to get a date. Wow. But remember that this woman only caters to high-end clients, right? High-end professionals that make tons of money, right? Not everyone can afford Samira for individual sessions, but she's the best. So I recently reached out to her about my own romantic woes and asked for advice that I could share with other readers struggling in the online dating world. Okay, so now you're being honest. So now, basically, I'm sure that these two women are friends. They've networked in the New York City area, and this is more like a promotional thing. But there's good content in here, so we're gonna dissect it. Here's what I learned, and for more coverage of the crazy world of dating in 2018, don't miss the 20 online dating terms older people don't know. Maybe we'll check that one out another time. Choose natural photos, number 1. So choose natural photos with you bending over there showing some cleavage. Okay. I like most of the other photos. They seem really innocent and nice. But the photos that really, really turn me off about women are photos like this one right here, where she's showing off cleavage. She's basically sitting there in a way, and she's showing off her boobs. You know, obviously fully clothed, but you know what I'm saying. Glamour shots, LOL. Right. Well, those are okay glamour shots. They're not overly glamorous to me. I've seen worse. I would rather prefer seeing maybe a few of these types of pictures, BWYA gaming, and maybe seeing some pictures from the hiking trail or other, more type of outdoor activity type of pictures. Eli, those are not natural at all. Did we have to even go there, BWYA gaming? Come on. Let me go through a few more of these sections before I take my first break, and then we're going to continue. You want your photos to paint a picture of who you are and the exciting life that a potential partner could have if they were with you. I agree. Looking over my photos, Samira liked that I had plenty of images that showed that I'm a fun person who travels a lot and likes to have a good time. Well, I agree. For the most part, I liked your photos too, if those were your actual photos, except for the one where you were showing off, your upper body assets, ma'am. I don't think that's necessary. You should save that, for, a very special guy that, you're going to share, romance with, right? Leave some mystery, right? But most women don't do that. They show off their body parts. That just turns me off when they do that. I skip profiles like that because those women are just playing games. The other benefit is that they make it easy for someone to use the photos as a prompt for a non-generic message. They could see my sailboat photo and ask, where was that taken? Or look at the photo of my dog and say, what's his name? Like on my dating profile, I have one picture that women always talk about. And I did it on purpose, right? For this reason and other reasons. I rolled up one of my sweatshirts and made it appear like a half shirt, and I was showing off my stomach, my flat stomach. And lots of women have commented on that picture. And it's actually, when they comment on it, I know they're completely attracted to me. Because they wouldn't go out of their way to make a comment on it if it wasn't something that really intrigued them. If they saw it and they didn't like it, they would just ignore me and not respond at all. So yeah, you want to take some good photos that show what you like to do, and take some fun, goofy photos too. Show your personality, and maybe throw in a zinger like one of mine. I wouldn't sit there and do a complete shirtless, picture. That, guys do that. I know women get turned off by that, and I don't blame them, right? But roll up your shirt a little bit, just show a little bit of your stomach as a joke that you have a flat stomach, right? Not take up your whole entire shirt. Do something different that stands out, that shows your personality. All right, so let me get through this first part here, then I'm going to step away, take a quick break, and I'm going to go through the rest of this. She told me to remove the selfie because selfies provide a distorted version of your face, which is backed up by studies. I hate selfies. As a matter of fact, any pictures that don't show your full body, I don't like, because you're hiding something, right? I've seen women put out 10 pictures and all 10 of them are headshots. And they put a lot of makeup on and they dolled up their face to look really cute, when the truth of the matter is they're 50 or 100 pounds overweight, right? Or you'll get a woman that has 10 pictures, 9 of them are a headshot, and 1 is a full body shot that is being taken from the top on down at a side angle to basically try to get her to appear as thin as possible. like the creative things that women have done to hide their weight on online dating is crazy. That's the one that gets me the most. The one where they're trying to take a full body shot. They put their camera all the way up. It's angled from the top down, and they're at an angle. So that way they look as thin as possible for the picture. Oh, man. Just be you. When people meet you, they're going to see who you really are. She also advises avoiding bathroom selfies, bikini photos for women, or topless shots for men. I agree. That I agree with. But I'm not going to charge you $6,500 for a 3-month package to tell you that. I just told you that right now, and so did this lady, right? Make sure to include a few full body shots, pictures that clearly show your face, and always use recent photos. I agree. The majority of your pictures should be full body shots, okay? Maybe 1 or 2 face shots, but then put out like 5 or 6 other pictures at least that are full body shots. Maybe one of you in a suit, maybe one of you on the hiking trail, one of you on vacation. Show different aspects of your life. Show that you actually do things and you're not lazy. Don't use headshots because they make you look stiff and boring. This isn't LinkedIn. I agree. All right. Let me see. How many aspects are there here? There's 12 aspects. We may have to take 2 breaks. So let me do this. Let's set this up and go back to full screen. We are at 39 minutes. We're going to step away and take a quick break in just a second here and then come back and continue. Let's see. BWYA Gaming says, naturally doctored. That's true. That's true, BWYA Gaming. She furthermore says, Photoshop can do a lot for you. Just saying, LOL. I use Photoshop. I know exactly what it can do, BWYA Gaming. BWYA Gaming says, not yours, Eli, talking about those pics she had. No, I know you're not talking about myself. But yes, I agree with you. You know, what she's writing on her blog is all for promotional opportunity. There's good information there, but it's all an opportunity to promote her friend and to have some content out there for the company that she writes for, or the companies she writes for, because maybe this blog is being promoted on multiple platforms. Let me check out Facebook real quick. Let's see. Claudia says, Facebook is almost 90% fake. Tinder is 90% hookups and prostitution. eHarmony has fake advertising. Profiles are very bad and nothing to do for what I want. No way to change preferences. I tried Singles Elite, but they were in Canada and they don't have a cancel option, so they took my money and disappeared. This one is a site that had good reviews from someone who supposedly is an expert in dating sites. The less worse is Bumble. Okay. And then Claudia furthermore says, I hate men profiles where they all show is themselves in the gym and their muscles. Like if that was interesting, it is good they exercise and are healthy, but not as if was their major and only attribute. They can brag so much about it. Well, that's true. That's true. You know, Claudia, I wouldn't go as far and say that 90% of all these dating sites are fake, but there are a lot of fake people. I understand your frustration and I understand your experience hasn't been that great. From what I've seen, I'd say probably about 10%, maybe 10 to 20% of the profiles are fake. I've talked to a lot of women and I've exchanged numbers with them and talked with them on the phone, so I know they're real, right? But even then, if you're going to include people that are fake, people that are pretending to be a certain way and they're a different way, sure, maybe you can throw that in there. I don't know if you're just mentioning this, saying that 90% are spammers and scammers, or 90% of the people are actually real people. They're not spammers and scammers. but they're just not honest about what they're looking for, right? They play games. They say they want a relationship, and instead they try to get into your pants on the first date, right? And so, maybe that's what you're saying. And because you're a female, I can understand that more so happens to you on your side. I get it. Doesn't happen that much to men because, we're dealing with women and we're dealing with a different aspect. There are spammers and scammers on the male side, but it's about 10 to 20%. And most of the women I've come across are not fake. They're just very superficial. They're looking for the perfect man. That doesn't exist. They're looking for a 6 foot tall man minimum that makes 6 figures minimum, that has at least 6 inches packing below minimum, right? And, less than 10% of the men in this world have all those aspects, right? So if a guy is, 5'10" or 5'11" and is packing 5.5 inches and is making $99,999, in these women's eyes, they still don't qualify. That's how bad it's gotten on my end, Claudia. So I'll tell you, it's an interesting world. But and then Claudia just wrote 1 minute ago, or that they are faking. Sure, there are a lot of fakes out there. There are people, Claudia, out in the online dating world that do it just to seek validation. More so women do it than men, but I know some men do it too. So you have to learn how to filter those people out real quick. And the way you do it is you get to the phone really quick. If they're not open to a phone call, pretty much right away, you just move on. If you get on the phone and they're not willing to meet within a few days or by that particular upcoming weekend, then it's just not going to happen. If it's meant to be, it's going to happen. If a woman's really into you and a man's really into you, it's just going to happen. If both people are into each other, they're going to just click and they're going to meet as soon as possible, and things are just going to flow naturally. So keep those comments and questions coming. Claudia on Facebook. Let me check out YouTube one more time. Nothing else happening there right now. All right, let me cue up some royalty-free YouTube music and step away for a quick break, and then I'm going to come back and we're going to continue. So let's do it here. Let's do it. Let's see here. All right. Let me see here. That's 2. That's 3. And that's 4. All right, folks, music is all queued up. I'm going to step away for a 10-minute or less break, and we're going to get right back to it. So stick around. We'll be right back. scratch it and get right back to it because there's so much to go over. Scratch it. All right. Welcome back to Navigating the Modern World with Coach Eli, live here on YouTube and also simulcasting live on Facebook. Glad you could all join me here tonight. Queen Helen Casey on the YouTube side of things is dancing and having a great time. You enjoying the show so far tonight, Queen? Pretty interesting topic, huh? Yeah. Oh, yeah. And then my good friend Claudia over on the Facebook side of things. I still see you there. So feel free to comment, and I'll check in every so often to respond over there. Tonight, we have been discussing, does hiring an online dating coach work, or is there a better option? One more time. Does hiring an online dating coach work, or is there a better option? Well, I personally think there is a better option. I'll share the better option, towards the end of the show, or at some point when it makes sense to do so. I will share with you folks how I can help you. And one of the ways I can help you is through my live streams. I pretty much give away everything for free on my live streams. I answer all your questions. I take topic requests. I actually charge $19 for, guaranteed topic requests. But if you email me and your topic is that good, I'll do it for free. If it's something I typically wouldn't do, then it's going to be $19. But that's still very, very reasonable. I'm very, very reasonably priced. And I'm not going to, give you a bunch of fluff. I'm not going to put you on a 1-year program on how to be a better online dater for $45,000. Oh my God. Anyway, let's continue. I was dancing to that song before you killed it. Oh, really, Queen? I'm sorry. Queen, I could bring it back. Yeah, Queen. It's Otis McDonald with Magic Part 2 from the YouTube audio library, Queen. Woo! You want to dance for a second? That's all right. I'll take care of you. It's all right. Oh, yeah. Clap your hands. I'm doing this just for Queen Helen Casey on the YouTube side of things. Yeah. Queen is dancing again. All right, Queen. I'm sorry, Queen. We have to get back to business. We'll do a dancing stream sometime this week. Queen, would you like me to do a dancing stream sometime this week? A motivational, inspirational dancing stream that I do every so often. I've been requested to do one of those again. Let me know if you'd like me to do that, Queen. That would be no problem. All right, let's switch back over to the browser screen here. And let's continue. Number 2. Keep the bio brief. About me. Russian-American journalist, Oxford graduate, adventure seeker, whiskey drinker, jazz listener, dog lover. Really, really don't care how tall you are. A profile like this would turn me off, to be honest with you. Like, there's not enough information there. I actually like longer bios. I would rather have a pretty good idea of who the person is before I even invest the time to write them a message. But let's see what the $45,000 a year dating coach told this blog author. You want to give someone a sense of your personality, but you also want to retain a sense of mystery. So don't give everything away. Well, to a certain extent, I agree with that. But on the flip side, I think too much mystery and people that hold back too much are hiding something that would be a deal breaker. So you have to be real careful. I don't think that's the best advice right there, to be honest with you. Yes, a little bit of mystery, a little bit of intrigue, fun, no problem. But if you don't have a general idea of how someone's personality is based on their profile. At least if I don't feel that, I'm not gonna respond. Looking at my bio, Samira thought it was good because it was short, but gave a basic sense of who I am, and again, made it easy for someone to message me based on the information I provided. What kind of jazz do you like? What's your favorite whiskey? I don't care about what kind of jazz you like, and I don't care about what kind of whiskey you drink. Quite frankly, I don't really care for anyone to mention that they're a drinker. Now, most of us will have a social drink, but do we have to put that in our profile? Typically, women that put their drinker within their profiles are heavy drinkers. And that's not somebody I want to be associated with or, date, to be honest with you. She did, however, suggest I remove Oxford graduate because it sounds boastful and that can be a turnoff to people. I think there's nothing wrong with putting you're educated and, you're a graduate from a top-notch university or college. And if that's a turnoff to certain men, then that's not the right man. I disagree with that advice there. And if you don't put that on there, you're going to attract men that are not at your level. So you're going to be wasting your time. So that's horrible advice, in my opinion. She suggested I let men figure out I'm smart by talking to me instead of spelling it out for them. Well, by you putting you're an Oxford graduate just says you got a good education and you're probably in a good career. Like this dating coach seems to cater her business in ways that are going to keep her clients around longer. Because if she gives them the right advice, they're not going to need her services, ongoing. And that's another thing I don't like about certain dating coaches. They say, hey, join my year-long program or 2-year program, right? Even if you find the right person, I can help you maintain that relationship. You can check in on me or check in with me and let me know how it's going, and I'll tell you how to handle things, right? I would hate to be dating a woman that's being given constant advice by another woman claiming to be a high-end dating coach. I mean, I would feel like a man that would have to be dancing on eggshells with a woman that's not even really being herself. That's my opinion. In general, she advises people avoid listing their degrees, accomplishments, and education. Nothing wrong with that, right? I wouldn't show off everything, but listing 1 or 2 things you've accomplished gives you a sense of credibility, in my opinion. Gives you, at least to me when I look at it, it shows that you're an accomplished person and you've worked hard to get somewhere, right? And that you put effort into things, right? You're not a lazy person. And for more great dating advice, know that these are the all-time best dating app opening lines. I'm not even going to go into that. Maybe we'll check that out. Well, okay, what the heck? Let me just see this for a second here. And maybe I'll do this one another time. Okay. So number 2, I really wasn't too fond of. Number 3, don't write anything negative. For the most part, I agree. That doesn't mean you can't write what you're not looking for. But some women will think that's a negative. I'm not looking for a hookup. Nothing wrong with that. I'm not looking for someone that's going to waste my time by wanting to send endless amounts of messages. I'm not looking for a pen pal. I'm looking to get to know someone. Let's have a phone conversation. And if we click, then let's meet and see where it goes. A lot of women, they want to talk back and forth for a long time because they want to feel comfortable with you. They want to feel like they can trust you completely before they meet you. And that's not a good thing. That's a woman that's just not ready to date, and she's just trying to buy time and keep you around in case she does become ready, right? And she's probably doing the same thing to a bunch of other guys, right? or she's just seeking validation, right? If a woman doesn't want to take it to the phone almost right away and meet right away, it's just not going to work, in my opinion. The final thing that she asked me to cut was the line that says, really don't care how tall you are. Yeah, that does sound kind of negative to me. I will agree, right? If you have to come out and say, really don't care how tall you are, in my eyes, you're saying the opposite of what you feel. Because obviously you've dealt with guys that are intimidated by your height. Maybe you're 5'8" or 5'10", ma'am. And guys that are 5'7" or 5'8", are intimidated to reach out to you. But here's the thing, ma'am. Would you date a guy that's shorter than you? Or would you date a guy that's less than 6 feet tall? We don't know that because you didn't put that in here, right? I put it in there to show that I'm not superficial, which Samira realizes, but she said that it can also come up as negative and you want your profile to exude positivity. I'd rather see your profile exude honesty, man. Because while writing a profile in the perfect way, according to what Samira would say or how you would feel, right? Might get you a lot more hits and messages. Is that what you really want? Are you going to be attracted to these guys once they connect with you, or you connect with them, or you connect with each other, right? In general, her advice was use some sense of humor. Of course, sense of humor is great. I love that. Got to crack jokes, keep things lighthearted. I consider myself to be a cocky, funny, playful guy. I'm a little bit cocky. What guy isn't, right? But I'm not arrogant, and I'm not a sissy. I'm well balanced. I'm cocky, playful, funny. And I will bust your chops. I will make you laugh as a woman by calling you on your crap. And you can call me out on mine. And if we can call each other out on our crap and get along, that's the recipe for a beautiful relationship for me. Use some sense of humor, of course, but nothing negative, and don't try to explain why you are there. Many women will ask, so why are you on online dating? I'm looking to find a date. It's what people do nowadays. And when I get asked that, I feel like saying, well, I could ask you the same thing, right? See, women that are in a good place and really truly want to get to know someone and they have no hangups about online dating or dating in general are not going to say, why are you on online dating, right? You are on the app or dating site, so take responsibility and don't whine. No one likes whiners. I agree. That I agree with. For what it's worth, being negative is on our list of the 12 biggest dating profile blunders men make. Do you see what this woman is doing here? She's promoting all of her other blogs within this blog. Not a bad idea, but you can kind of tell this, she writes her stories in ways that are going to market other people and, also generate revenue. I can't blame her for it, but it's quite obvious here. Number 4, try newer apps. I don't agree with this one. Wow, look at these two people here. You got a really good-looking woman and a really good-looking man. The majority of people don't look like that. These people are all dolled up. Perfect smile, makeup, hair, perfect lighting on the pictures, right? They look all innocent and nice. But how are they? How is their personality when you meet these people? And how much attention are they getting? And even if you're the right fit for either one of them, what are your chances of beating out 100 or 200 other people that are fighting for their attention, which you shouldn't fight for their attention anyway, but a lot of people do. That's why, I talk about the beta mons, the beta males, the beta mons in this world all the time, right? Don't be a beta mon. One of the reasons that I periodically try online dating again is because you meet happy couples all the time that met on an app. But I noticed that I often hear them say things like, we met on Tinder back when it was good, or we met on Hinge back when it was good. No, listen, the bottom line is Tinder and Hinge have always been hookup sites. You hooked up through Tinder or Hinge. You started off as just having sex, and then the sex was so good, you started to like each other's personalities. That's a possibility. That can happen. That does happen. It's rare, but it does happen. But also, most people, especially people from my generation, You know, if we're talking about Generation Y, the millennials, and Gen Z, the post-millennials, the I generation, this is the way they're doing things. They're doing things backwards. They're swiping left and swiping right based on physical attraction. They're hooking up. They're having sex. They're not talking about relationships, but let's say they hook up. The sex is great. Then they start talking, and then they start to get feelings for each other. Then they'll possibly date. So they're doing things backwards, which is also why people like myself from my generation, Generation X, and the baby boomers that are single, we're having a hard time meeting people because the culture has been changed by the millennials and post-millennials. Back when Tinder was good. When has it changed? It's always been a hookup site. Same with Hinge. I don't like those sites. It seems like the trend with dating apps is that the first few cycles of people who join are actually cool people, genuinely interested in a relationship, but the latter waves are ones just looking to hook up. Samira agrees with this, which is why she suggests trying new apps on the market. I will agree with that to a certain extent. Whenever you go on a dating site, at first, they're going to recommend you the top prospects because all these dating sites have algorithms just like YouTube, Facebook, and other social media platforms have. And so they want to give you a good experience so you can continue renewing if you don't find that right person. So on Match.com, when you do a search for women, or if you're swiping, because now swiping is on every platform, including Match.com, they're going to suggest to you the most active women that actually respond in paragraphs and not just one-liners. Sometimes you get women that, will respond to you and say hi, right? Those are typically spammers and scammers, right? Okay, they'll typically have one or two pictures of a really cute girl and they're spammers, right? But yeah, whenever you join a new site, they're going to suggest to you through search or through swiping the top prospects that are most active, that are the most likely to respond because they want to give you a good experience and get you hooked, thinking that that's the way it's going to be down the road. Once you get through those top prospects that are the most active, then you start going to people that are on and off the site. You also start going into people that are no longer paid members on Match. Like on Match, both men and women pay, but there's also an option to upgrade your own message where you can add the reply for free feature on your package. And that way, anyone that's not subscribed or currently a paid member, if you message them, they'll be able to respond to you for free. But even then, are those people really interested, in meeting someone because they haven't been a paid member on the site for a while? Who knows? Maybe, maybe not. You just have to try it out and see what happens. But that makes a lot of sense there. The first few cycles of people who join are actually cool people, genuinely interested in the relationship. But the latter waves are just looking to hook up, or they're just looking for validation, or they got tired and didn't renew their membership and they don't want to deal with online dating anymore. That's what happens. You have to learn to understand that. A good one is The League, which started out as an elite app for Ivy League graduates and has since expanded to people who are simply smart and driven. She's also heard good things about a new app called Checked or Cheeked or whatever, which uses a cross-platform, low-energy Bluetooth technology to match you with people who are in your direct vicinity. Well, that's pretty scary. So it uses Bluetooth to match you with people that are within like 30 feet of you or 100 feet of you. That's like the range of Bluetooth. She's not a fan of Bumble, and neither am I. I think out of all the swiping platforms, Bumble is one of the better ones, along with Match.com, which is not really a swipe platform, but they added a swipe feature on there because everyone is doing that now. All the platforms are doing that. So, I'm not saying I'm not a fan of Bumble, but I'm not a big fan of it. I'm just kind of like, it is what it is, right? And I've got a few women I'm talking to in the works from Bumble, and I've communicated back and forth with some, and they're very flaky. It's like, if a woman really feels it for you and a guy really feels it for you, you're gonna connect electrically with electricity right away. You're going to talk on the phone once, and then you're going to meet within a day or two, and then it's going to take off, right? That's what I've noticed in the past. If that's not happening, you and that person were not meant to be, even if you had a great conversation on the phone one time. That's why you don't hear from people the next day. They really weren't that interested. They were lukewarm interested, not a high level of interest, right? She's not a fan of Bumble, which she believes makes men passive and lazy when they were already passive to begin with. That's a stereotype. I don't agree with that. Just because a man's on Bumble doesn't mean he's lazy. There are lazy men and women everywhere. So I don't agree with that. But hey, that's her opinion. She's entitled to it. All right, let me check out the chat here real quick. I need a banana. I have leg cramps. Potassium helps, says BWYA Gaming. Okay. All right, we're good. We're all caught up. All right, and nobody's commenting on Facebook, so we're good. We're going to continue. We're going to go over 2 more, and then we're going to take 1 more break, and then come back and wrap up the last 4. I believe there's a total of 12 of them. We're going to go through number 5 and 6. Well, we're going to go through 3 more. We're going to go through number 7, and then we're going to do the last 5 when I return. Older people should try online websites. I agree. I think anyone should. But you have to know how to filter through your prospects. Online dating can be a great thing if you know how to use it. It can be frustrating even if you know how to use it, because sometimes you're going to come across a bunch of people that have some level of attraction for you, but they don't have a high level of attraction for you, right? You're going to know when you come across a woman that has a high level of attraction for you. You're just going to see her make a lot of effort for you to always try to reach out to you. That's what you want as a guy without you even having to try. Samira's older clients have had more luck with online dating sites rather than apps, in part because there's a wider selection of people above a certain age. They've had particularly good success with Match.com, which has been around since 1995. Match.com is fantastic. One of my favorites. Remember, just because you're over 65 doesn't mean you have to close up shop. That's true. That's absolutely true. One recent study confirmed there are plenty of older people who have great sex lives. I'll be one of those when I get up there. If you do want to go with apps, check out the best dating apps if you're over 40. All right. This woman has an article written for everything. Okay. Yeah, no, that is true. Age is nothing but a number. And, as people get older, they get more mature, they have less tolerance for BS, and they're less picky. By the time you hit 65 and you're a senior citizen, let's say you've been married and gone through a divorce, or you've been widowed or whatever, and you're looking for companionship, I noticed that as people get at that age, senior citizen level, they're not as picky. They're just looking for a great companion. And at that point, looks, they matter to a certain extent, but not nearly as much as they did before that time. In this modern world, people under 65 or under 60 at least, people still in their 40s and 50s are still looking at physical attraction as one of their main requirements before anything else matters, which I think is pretty sad. I mean, yes, physical attraction does matter to me, but I'm not looking for the perfect supermodel type of woman. I'm very flexible with, what I'm attracted to regarding a woman. I'm not looking for the perfect looking in shape woman. I'm just looking for a woman that takes care of herself, is proportionate. If she's a little bit thicker, that's fine. But does she have a great personality, right? I mean, I look at the overall picture. Most people don't. They look to see, hey, are you hot or are you not, before we even try to figure anything else out. And that's just not a good way to look at it, in my opinion. Number 6, ask something specific in your first message. You should. Absolutely, you should. I always do. As the saying goes, you only get one chance to make a first impression. And believe it or not, on online dating, you do only get that one shot. Because it's easy to ghost you, right? It's easy to hang up on a phone call nowadays and block the person, right? I hate to admit this, but I've talked to some women that I just could not believe what they were saying on the phone after 5 or 10 minutes. And in the middle of them just yakking, I would hang up and then I'd block them immediately. And I'd go and block them. I'd block them on my phone, then I'd block them on the dating site I met them on because I don't want to give them any option to respond. I'm like, wow, I can't believe how superficial this woman is. So she's not even going to get a response from me saying, I'm just not liking, how this is going, right? Well, why not? I don't want to even deal with that. I'm not going to put up with that. If you're a woman and you're being superficial, if I'm talking with you and you're making it all about yourself and, you're just acting or you're asking stupid questions. Like I was talking to this woman on the phone the other night and she kept asking me, what kind of car do you drive? Do you own a home? And I'm like, okay, I've had enough of this. I hung up on her after I said I had enough of this and I blocked her, right? I'm like, this woman cared more about my resources than getting to know me. You get one of those women, you got to find out as soon as possible and you got to remove them. Now, this doesn't happen as much on the flip side for women because most men out there are not going to be looking for a woman that has resources to try to, take from her. And most women, would never allow that to happen anyway. Okay. So it doesn't happen really that much on the flip side. It more so happens it more so happens to guys from women that are seeking to, be with somebody that has a lot of resources because she doesn't have a lot and she wants to be able to have access to those resources and possibly steal those resources from you if it doesn't work out, right? Don't waste it with something generic like, hey, how are you doing? Ask about something that intrigues you in their profile, but be earnest, right? You need to be earnest and you need to be straight up because if they like who you are, they're going to answer your question. They're going to offer up as much information as you want. A woman that's really into you is going to want to tell you as much about her as you're open to hearing, even at that point early on. So don't be afraid to be upfront. I agree. Okay? Don't ask about their dog if you hate dogs or what books they like to read if you don't care about books. That's true. Ask questions that you genuinely care to ask. Okay? Don't ask something, or say something, just because you feel she would like that and it would give you a better chance of being with her if it's something you don't like. And if she does something that you don't like, you can say, hey, well, I don't really enjoy that, but there are many other things I do enjoy doing, and see how it goes. And if that's a deal breaker for her, she'll tell you, and then you end the conversation, talk to somebody else, right? You're looking for something you can connect on, not just a way to get in the door. That's right. A lot of people will say whatever they have to say to get that first date and try to get into the woman's pants, right? As guys do that primarily more so than women, right? But if you're looking for something sustainable long term, you want to look for something you can relate to and connect with. Not just say something that's going to get you in the door. I agree. Great way to put it. All right, number 7. Let me check out Facebook real quick. Claudia says, Match.com has declined a lot. I will agree with you. And it started declining, I'd say, probably this past year. It was good for a while, for a long while. But I will tell you, I'm still on Match right now, and it's just been a bloodbath out there. I'll tell you that. Claudia furthermore says, "Why sad? You need to like the person and have chemistry. Also, other things. But if you are not attracted to them, then it will stay in the friend zone." Well, here's the thing, Claudia, and I don't know how you look at this, but most women nowadays are very, very picky on looks, even women in their 40s and 50s, right? And, they want a guy 6 feet tall, six-figure income, minimum 6 inches packing below the waist, right? And like I said earlier, less than 10% of the men in this world qualify at all 3 of those, right? And like I said, you could have a guy that's 5 foot 11 inches tall, makes $99,999, has a 5.5-inch, thing below the waist, right? And most women would still decline that, saying that, well, you're close, but you're not exactly what I want, right? My opinion is I think that women have become extremely picky on looks. I'm not saying for women to completely devalue looks, but have a little more flexibility. Let's say somebody is reasonably attractive. They might not be the hottest guy in the world, but they're in good shape. They're average looking, but they have a great personality and they make decent money and they take care of themselves. Claudia furthermore says, not necessarily just that they are well fit, normal look, and a good income, at least a job. No, I agree. That's an honest way to look at it. Not superficial at all. Well, thank you for your feedback. Claudia, I'll check back in just a little bit. Let me check back out here on YouTube. BWYA Gaming says, older people, if they can get online, LOL, some are technically challenged. Well, that's true. But listen, most people nowadays, even the older people, they've learned technology. Their kids have taught them technology, or they've just, learned it over the course of time. My ex-girlfriend, Dana's parents, were experts at technology. So, it all depends. It all depends. I think for the most part, now that we've had smartphones that replace cell phones over the past 10 plus years, I think everyone has one now, and everyone has learned to use the internet for the most part. BWA Gaming says, right, that's a material girl, LOL. That's true. Yep. You're responding to what I said earlier. Queen Ellen Casey says, there are women who are gold diggers. Of course, there are plenty of those. And that's what this one woman was I was talking about. She asked, you own a home? What type of car do you drive? I'm like, you haven't asked me one thing about what I like to do for fun or, what kind of guy am I? You're interested in my resources. Okay, time to call this one quits. Have a good night. I'm out of here. Peace out. We're at 1 hour and 28 minutes. Let me read one more here, and I'm going to take another quick break, and then we're going to come back and wrap it up with the final 5 parts. Number 7, go on several dates. Oh, you're telling me. I've done this before in the past, and I'm actually tired of going on several dates. Look at how nice this couple looks on this date. You got this nice, attractive guy, this attractive, cute Asian woman. He's taking her out to a nice restaurant. Looks like a very fancy restaurant. That's going to be at least $100 to $150 dinner right there, depending on how many drinks they have. And I hate the stereotype, but I'm looking at that woman and I'm like, she's looking at him and she's attracted to him, but I just don't see any sex happening that night, right? And typically, if you're going to take a woman on a date like this, you're going to take her on a date like this once you've established some intimacy or a kiss or some type of affection, right? I would never, ever take a woman to a fancy dinner on a first date. Ever. Ever. I won't do it until after we've christened the bedroom. Because at that point, I'll know she's totally into me. I'm not trying to be superficial about it. I'm not trying to be a jerk about it. I'm just saying, look, hey, before I invest in you, I want to make sure that you are ready to invest in me. And if you're willing to give yourself to me romantically and submit to me in that way, then guess what? Then I'll start opening up the door on my end. But you got to do your part too. It's a two-way street. Samira agrees that the paradox of choice is one of the biggest problems engendered by online dating. Endless options have kept more people single today. I agree. Too many options. Both men and women are flooded with options, but more so women. Women have 10 to 20 times more messages than men do. Men, if you're overwhelmed, just only imagine how much more overwhelmed women are. That's why it's difficult. It's more difficult for men to meet a good woman nowadays on Match.com, Plenty of Fish, OkCupid, or any dating site or app for that sake, for the reason I just mentioned. Everyone thinks the grass is greener on the other side. That's the problem. They think that if they find a really good guy in you, you're cute, and you've got your shit together, well, I've got 20 other guys. Let's see if one of those other 20 other guys is better than Eli. So let's put Eli on the back burner for right now, even though I should be meeting up with him and having fun with him, right? That's the thing. The grass is greener on the other side syndrome. They call that the GIGS syndrome. Grass is greener on the other side syndrome. I've seen many, many women have that, more so than men. That's a thing that more so women are, behaving like nowadays. And that's because women have always had that in their nature. Even back in the days of traditionalism, women were always seeking out the strongest man, a man that had good resources and was a strong man and had good genes that could protect her and, will reproduce with her and create healthy kids, right? So women have always been what is known as hypergamy. They're hypergamous. They seek up, right? They're seeking for the strongest male, the most successful male, the most attractive male, etc., right? So, it's more so a biological thing with women, even going back to the days of traditionalism, and still there today. But because women are like that biologically, in today's world, it's become more dangerous because now it's like, women have way more options than they did. And if you're a guy that's trying to get to know a woman, you have to understand that you're one guy out of 100 plus she's probably talking to, or at least out of maybe 10 or 20, right? How are you going to stand out? How are you going to get the girl? What are you going to do that's different, right? Well, the one thing that I do is I don't overly pursue them. I don't pursue them at all. I share who I am. We have a phone conversation. I say, hey, would you like to meet? Well, I'm going to be busy for the next week or two, right? Or if they give you that BS because they're talking to other guys, they're trying to still figure out who they want to choose, right? A woman that's really into you, like I said earlier, is going to want to meet you right away with no questions asked. Well, let's meet. Oh, yeah, I'm so excited. Let's meet, right? That's what it is. They're always thinking the grass is greener on the other side, and it usually isn't. And that there will always be another option around the corner. Well, that's true for men and women. So if we keep on looking for the other option and we never settle, then we're never going to be with anyone, right? We're going to be in an endless loop of looking for someone for the rest of our lives. How fun is that? And then there are people say, never settle. What do you mean never settle? If you never settle, you're going to be in that endless loop of trying to find someone, and you're going to be alone the rest of your life. If you find a good person that's worthy of settling for, do it. Do it. That's the right thing to do. As a result, people have unrealistic expectations, and if they aren't completely blown away by someone on the first date, they will write them off in favor of going out with a new person. That I just said the same thing in different words. If someone doesn't get that rush of attraction from the moment you exchange messages on a dating site or the moment you talk on the phone, if they're not feeling that rush of complete 100% attraction for you, and if the same thing doesn't happen when you meet, then that's it. You're done. They're going to be off to the next. Thereby throwing themselves into an endless cycle of first dates. I agree with that. Thereby throwing themselves into an endless cycle of first dates. I try to weed out those types of women that just like going on a bunch of first dates, right? And the way you weed them out is you ask them, what are you seeking? I know your profile says this, but what are you honestly seeking? What do you feel you're ready for at this point, right? A woman that wants something real and authentic will tell you and won't argue you and won't say, didn't you read my profile, right? Women that are, just playing around and just want to keep on, they want to keep the cycle going, are going to just say, well, didn't you read my profile? Well, yeah, but I want to hear you say it voice to voice on the phone right now, right? Well, a woman that is ready for, the real thing, such as you are, is going to come out and just answer you with no hesitation, and they're not going to be snarky. They're just going to be cool because they really like you. When a woman really likes you, she's going to want to say whatever it takes to get the chance with you, right? To combat this, Samira suggests going outside of your comfort zone and dating people who you might not normally like and going on several dates before you make up your mind. I don't like the way Samira put that. Okay? I would never ever want to go out with somebody I don't like. Now, I think what she's trying to say in different words is stop being overly picky about physical looks. You can lower your standards a little bit and date an average looking person according to society standards. That's still going to be a cute and attractive person, right? Rather than going for the hottest person, right? What Samira is saying is lower your standards regarding physical attraction, but also look to see what does this person have to bring to the table besides the physical aspect, right? So let's say they're not your typical physical type. They're still good looking, but instead of, you only going after guys that are a 9 or a 10, now you're going after guys that are a 6, 7, or 8, right? Okay? So still attractive guys, but a little less attractive than what you usually go for, right? So if you're going to go for a guy like that, that's good. You should. But then look to see what does he have besides that. How's his personality? Does he love the outdoors? Okay, is he outgoing? Is he romantic? What does he have to bring to the table besides his looks? Let's see here. So Samira suggests going outside of your comfort zone and dating people who you might not normally like and going on several dates before you make up your mind. Okay, I can understand that. I know someone who was that a misspell? I know someone who wasn't into the guy at first, and by the 7th date, she really clicked with him. She said, now they are dating exclusively. We live in a society where people are so easy to say no to get to know the person. You know what happened? This is what happened. The reason why they clicked after 7 dates is because this woman had other options with guys that she perceived as more physically attractive than this guy. She was looking to see how their personality was, right? So this is what I think women do in their mind regarding the process of elimination nowadays in the online dating world. They're looking to find a balance of the best looking guy with the best personality. So let's say let's say you have three guys. Let's say a woman's talking with three guys, right? There's a guy that's on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the highest. There's a guy that is a 10 on the attraction scale physically. Then there's a guy that's a 9, and then there's a guy that's a 7, right? So this guy was probably a 7 that it took her, 7 days to really click with him. Well, what was happening is that she rated him out of those three guys as still attractive, but less attractive than the other two guys I mentioned. But she kept him around because she's still getting to know the 9 to 10 on the physical attraction scale, right? But after spending a little bit of time with the 9 to 10 guys and finding out that their personalities were horrible, by process of elimination, she went to the next best looking guy with the great personality, right? That's what women are doing. I'm telling you, folks. And I'll be quite honest with you. I'm the same way. And I'm trying to teach guys to be the same way, right? But see, for me, I'm going to find out much quicker than women do if, things are going to work out or not, because I'm going to get down to business on one phone call. I'm going to, I write my profile in a very direct way regarding what I'm looking for. I'm basically so upfront that if a woman is not close to what I'm seeking, she's either not going to respond to me or she's going to respond to me and say, wow, I've been looking for a guy like this. Let's talk, right? Let's see. Now they're dating exclusively. We live in a society where people are so easy to say no to. Get to know the persons because we have a lot of options, and people are using the process of elimination to find the best balanced person, meaning that they're trying to find the hottest looking person with the best personality. And they're working their way down from the most attractive person physically, and they're going down from the most physically attractive to the next, most physically attractive on down until they find the most physically attractive guy out of the guys they're talking with that also brings everything else to the table. And so that's why if you're a guy that has the best personality this woman's looking for, and she has some attraction to you, if there are other guys in the picture that she perceives to be better looking physically than you, she'll keep you around, but she's going to find out if those guys are the same or better personality than you. And if not, then she'll focus on you. If those guys have a better personality or the same personality and she perceives them to be more physically attractive, then guess what? The 6th date she took her on, you'll never get to the 7th one because she'll end up leaving you and say, oh, I decided to, been dating somebody else and decided to work things out with them. It was really nice spending some time with you. Best of luck to you, right? Or she'll just ghost you, right? For tips on what not to say on the first date, check out the 17 worst things a man can say to a woman. I'd rather not check that out. I already know what not to say. Anyway. All right, folks. So we are at number 8. 4 more to go. I'm going to take another break. And then when we get back, I'm going to finish the last 4 here. Let me check out Facebook real quick. Been a great show tonight. Yes, I'm not that picky, says Claudia. Claudia says, well, we look for a person we don't have to drag or save with no drama, etc. Many men are also picky, just want certain ages, low maintenance. Yeah, no, the way the world is nowadays, Claudia, it's just become a superficial world. It's pretty sad. I come from the old school. I still believe in old school values. I respect the modern woman, but I believe in old school values. So I get it. I totally get it. Good to hear you're not that picky, though. Specialized Cycling Club, 810's in the house. What's up, bro? Hey, brother. Have any luck with Bumble yet? No, I've been talking to a few women, dude. They're very flaky. Like, let me ask you this, Specialized Cycling Club. While I go on break, you can type this out. I'll check it out while I'm on break or when I get back. Have you encountered a bunch of flaky women on on Bumble. You have one phone conversation or one message, or maybe you change numbers and then it just never goes anywhere. Anyway, Queen says hello, Cycling. Cycling says hi, Queen. All right, we are at 1 hour and 1 hour and 45 minutes. Sorry, 1 hour and 45 minutes. Let's see here. I'm going to cue up some royalty-free music. And when I get back from the break, we're going to finish with the last 4 aspects of this very interesting article. So let's cue it up. Let's first switch back over to the main screen there. 810, do you like my new Sony a6400 camera? Do you like the 1080p at 60 frames per second? You got to tell me this is good quality. No complaints, right, dude? I could do 4K at 30, but I'd rather do 1080p at 60. It's not worth to live stream at 4K, but my pre-recorded videos starting in a week or 2 are going to be in 4K at 60 frames per second. I'm getting a cooling pad for my laptop this weekend, and that should allow me to get better thermals in my laptop, and that means my processor can run at a higher clock speed and render videos out quicker. It's quick enough as it is, but I've been, buying some, accessories for this laptop to make it as functionable as possible. But I love it, man. I love the setup I have now, and I'm very, very pleased. I'm very, very pleased. Let me check something out here real quick. Okay. All right, let's cue up that music. Let me see here. All right, music is all queued up. I'm going to step away for, I'd say maybe a 5-minute break or so around there, and we're going to come back and wrap this up. So stick around. We'll be right back. right, let's stretch it and get right back down to business. Stretch it. All right. Welcome back to Navigating the Modern World with Coach Eli, live here on YouTube and simulcasting live on Facebook as well. We're back for the third and final segment here. And tonight we've been discussing, does hiring an online dating coach work? Or is there a better option? One more time. Does hiring an online dating coach work, or is there a better option? Well, I'm going to share with you folks a better option towards the end of the show, so stick around for that. I would be happy to help anybody that's struggling with, online dating or dating in general. It's one of my specialties. It's what I do. I've had my own personal experiences, many of them, some good, some not so good. But just because I'm a coach doesn't mean that, things are going to go perfect for me. I'm a human being just like you folks. I just, I can identify what's going on a lot clearer, and I can help you identify it quicker and easier. So that way you can focus less time with people that aren't going to fit for you and focus more time on people that are going to be a potential better match for you. So stick around for more information on that. And let's just get right back to the last four sections of this article. And go back to the browser source there. And leave off where we left off. Okay. Number 8. Don't make excuses for them. Well, don't make excuses, period. Look at this woman. She seems like, okay, I'm lonely. I'm cute. I'm lonely. I'm feeling miserable. I keep swiping left. Then I swipe right because I'm just not attracted to most of these guys. I've got like 10 guys in the queue. They're all cute, but I just don't know which one to choose. And I'm just going to sit here like this and just be lonely and miserable instead of just, picking one and, focusing on getting to know them, right? I'm lost in a sea of love, right? Lost in a sea of love. That's what it's like nowadays. One of the latest terrible trends we have to deal with is R-bombing. And I've been experiencing it personally with a guy I recently started seeing. In these cases, it is easy to make excuses for the other person, and they themselves will usually say things like, sorry, I was really busy, or sorry, I'm just not really good at texting, but I really like you. And that's called being on the back burner, because there are many other options we're trying to figure out if they're better than you. Let's check out what R-bombing is by going to this other article very quickly. I did see this earlier. And if you look up top here, let me turn off the chat just for a second. Have you been R-bombed? Here's newest dreaded dating trend. Have you been R-bombed? Here's newest dreaded dating trend. Let's turn the chat back on. What is R-bombing? You've already got ghosting, orbiting, and breadcrumbing on the long list of online dating slang terms that describe the terrible ways people treat each other in the digital age. But now you can add another one to the list, R-bombing. Well, what the hell is R-bombing? The term only applies to exchanges which include read receipts like Facebook and iPhone messages if you choose to turn on that function. In R-bombing, the perpetrator, why are we calling these people perpetrators, ma'am? This is ridiculous. The perpetrator will read your message but fail to respond. This is different from ghosting, in which you at least have the luxury of assuming the person didn't get the text or died. With R-bombing, it is abundantly clear that the person received your message and is willfully choosing to ignore it. I got to tell you something, folks. Let's go back to the other section. I don't care about read receipts. I mean, they come standard in one of the packages I get from Match.com. And I don't even care about read receipts on iMessage. I do have an iPhone, right? Because here's the thing. If people want to respond, they're going to respond, whether you have read receipts activated or not. And so, if you send someone a message on Match.com and they read your message, that doesn't mean that after looking at your profile, they were attracted to your pictures and were attracted to what you wrote. Just means they saw your message, they checked out your profile, they didn't like it, they didn't respond. It's time to move on, right? And if you're texting somebody and they read your message and don't get back to you right away or don't get back to you at all, go on with your life. Maybe they're not a good friend. Maybe they weren't, meant to, associate with you in any way, shape, or form, whether it's for dating or other things, right? R-bombing. In these cases, it is easy to make excuses for the other person, and they themselves will usually say things like, sorry, I was really busy, or sorry, I'm just not really good at texting, but I really like you. No, it means that you're on backup status while these people go and filter out other options that they perceive are a better fit for them or they're more attracted to physically or overall. Man, this is ridiculous. You want to be understanding, so you take what they say at face value, but it's a bunch of nonsense. Are you just figuring that out, man? I wonder how old this woman is. Probably in her 30s. If Obama could schedule Friday date nights with Michelle while he was president of the United States, this person can find time to respond to your text no matter how busy they are. That is true. They're just choosing to not respond to you because they're not attracted to you as much as they are to somebody else, or you're not as interesting to them as someone else is. Don't take offense to it. Understand it and move on. That's what I help people understand out here. You can't expect someone to make you a priority after just a few dates, sure. But you can expect them to show a reasonable amount of courtesy and respect. Not in the online dating world, you're either in or you're out. The bottom line with online dating is this. It's either going to work right away or never going to work out at all. It's either an instant connection or it's not. I'm sorry to say, that's just the way it goes. And that's how pretty much it is in real life. You're either instantly attracted to each other or you're not. And if there's a low level of attraction there, then you're going to be put on backup status and you don't want to go there. Another way they call it here, R-bombing, right? It's just stupid. And not responding to someone is just plain rude, whatever their reasons. Just move on and find someone that doesn't act like a child. Man, I put in my profile, if you're not interested, there's no need for you to respond to me. Please don't respond. Why would I want someone responding to me that I've shown interest to their profile? I've messaged them to say, hey, check out my profile, and if you like what you see and what I wrote, get back to me and let me know if you want to talk. What would the benefit be to me for someone getting back to me and saying, Eli, thanks for your interest, but we're not a good fit? How's that going to change my day in a positive way, right? You letting me down politely is wasting my time from having to click into your message and read another rejection message, right? So I disagree here. Now, that's the way things used to be in the non-digital world because we had to face each other in the real world. Now we're online. So now it's like, look, if you don't like someone and they message you, then just don't respond to them. You not responding to them is making a statement that I'm not interested. That's plain and simple, right? This woman has a lot of expectations in people and is probably learning a lot by writing this and talking to her, I guess, friend, the $45,000 a year dating coach. Let me check out the chat here real quick. Queen Helen Case says Obama's real name, okay, is that, and Michelle's real name is, okay, Truth Bomb. All right, Queen. All right. Checking back in on Facebook. Okay, nothing over there. Nothing else on YouTube. Let's continue. We're getting close to the end. Don't play games. Okay. Now look at this woman's face. Cute woman, beautiful woman, right? But she's got her eyes drooping down. She's got a serious face on her, right? This is a woman, I'll look at her face and I hate to stereotype and judge. I wouldn't even try to get with her because I can read on her face that she has an attitude and no one's good enough for me. I'm looking to see if one out of these 100 guys, is good enough for me, right? She's got that attitude like her shit doesn't stink. I'm sorry, but I can tell that face anywhere, right? That is a face right there. Correct me if I'm wrong. Is an unapproachable face. She's beautiful. She's probably very smart. Probably a great lover too. But that face right there is not smiling and innocent looking. That face is like, I'm going to wear the pants in the relationship. No thanks. Good luck to you, sweetheart. What goes around comes around. I complain about men not answering me or not being straight with me. Well, what about when you don't answer them, ma'am? What about the men that reach out to you and you ignore? Why don't you tell us about that? But the truth is, I've been guilty of doing this with people I wasn't into myself. Right, I just said that. Let's read that one more time. Just to give the lady some credit for being honest, right? What goes around comes around. I complain about men not answering me or not being straight with me. But the truth is, I've been guilty of doing this with people I wasn't that into myself. You didn't feel the attraction, ma'am. So you ignored them and ghosted them rather than getting back to them and hurting their fifis or wasting your time, right? Oh, I think you're starting to get it now, ma'am. Whether or not you believe in karma or energy, you have to treat people the way you want to be treated. And that means having the courtesy and courage to respond to someone and politely say that you don't want to meet up again for whatever reason. Well, I agree. If you go on a date with somebody, if you go on one date with somebody and they want to see you again, right? Or let's say, he hasn't reached out to you or you haven't reached out to him to say where things stand. If you go on one date, the courteous thing to do is say, hey, I had a great time. I just don't think we're a good fit. I just, wasn't feeling the chemistry or whatever. I agree. At that point, you should. Before you meet, you don't owe the person anything. On online dating, if they send you a message, you don't have to respond if you're not interested. That's the way it goes. The other person will respect you for it. You'll relieve them of frustration or anxiety, and you'll leave a nice legacy for yourself in their mind. The way I look at it is this. If a woman, after going on a first date with a woman, if she's typically into me, we will have at least kissed or made out or something, right? The only way, guys, I shit you not, the only way I know a second date is going to happen is if I try to kiss a woman on a first date, let's say it feels right, we're getting along, I try to kiss her, and she starts kissing me, and she starts holding me and making out with me and not resisting. Then you know she's into you. Then you know there's a second date coming, and a lot more. If there's no romantic, gesture or spark on the first date, I don't care what anyone says. It's just not going to go anywhere. And that's how I've seen it happen my entire life, stemming back to my high school days. Okay. Number 10, have sex when you want to have sex. Look at that picture there. Have sex when you want to have sex. All right, let's see what's said here. I had a very frustrating phone call with a dating coach recently who basically acted like all women need to do to hook a man is withhold sex until they agree to be in a relationship. Let me read that again. I had a very frustrating phone call with a dating coach recently who basically acted like all women need to do to hook a man is withhold sex until they agree to be in a relationship. If any woman did that to me, they'd be date over. I'd never talk with you again. I hate when any woman dangles sex like a carrot. I'm sorry. That's just rude and immature and just childish. We don't need that crap. You're either interested or you're not. You either want to be intimate or you don't. There's no in between. It's either there or it isn't. This is terrible advice. I agree. With me, I always wait to have sex until I see that we both genuinely I always wait to have sex until I see that we both genuinely, mutually respect and like each other. And Samira agrees that this is a good formula. I agree with that. So what you're saying, ma'am, if it feels right to have some affection, even possibly have sex on the first date, you're okay with that. Okay, maybe second date, right? For me, if it typically doesn't happen by the second or third date at the latest, I'm out. It's just not going to work. It's not. Sometimes they wait and it doesn't. So sorry. Some people have sex on the first date and it works out. It's happened to me. Sometimes they wait and it doesn't. Right. A lot of women, will withhold sex because they say, oh, I rushed into it too soon the last time. The truth of the matter is, whether you have sex on the first date, second date, third date, fifth date, 10th date, that's going to have no bearing on whether you were meant to be together or not. And quite frankly, the sooner you have sex and find out if you're even sexually compatible on top of being mentally and emotionally compatible, you're going to know if you have that overall connection. What if you have the mental and emotional and spiritual connection, and you wait 5 days to have sex and the sex sucks, and now you don't want to see the guy, even though everything else is perfect? He's a good-looking guy. He's mentally, emotionally, and spiritually attractive and stable, but he's a shitty lover. So now you're going to leave him because you waited 5 days to have sex with him when you could have found out sooner and not wasted more time. I hate when women dangle this like a carrot. If a woman does this, guys, just put her on the back burner. If you're on a phone call with her, hey, I'm really sorry I have to cut this short. Something just came up. Let me know if you want to talk another time. Just text me when you're free next and blah, 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 right? And then see what they do and move on to someone else that's going to be less restrictive or not restrictive, right? Women that dangle sex on a carrot are using it as a weapon. You don't want to be around someone like that. So I agree here with what they're saying. So sometimes people have sex on the first date and it works out. Sometimes they wait and it doesn't. Right. There's no numbered rule that can tell you when it feels right. That's true. When it feels right, it feels right. And by the way, recent studies have shown that you're actually not even more likely to have casual sex if you're on Tinder. I don't agree with that. But that's your opinion. Tinder is a hookup site. Completely. Let me check out the chat real quick. Look at that picture there. Oh, Moses. Let's see here. All right. Claudia says on Facebook, but rejection is part of this search. Unnecessary rejection is mean. It all depends on how you do it, Claudia, but I get it. Claudia furthermore says, Elias, tell us a little, how do you know the women have so many options in the dating apps? Most men are below my league, and many men think they are in a higher league. Bottom line, we are not matching as we used to in the past. Can I be real honest with you, Claudia? You know I've known you for a while, and I have respect for you. See, Claudia, no disrespect, and I hope we can still be friends after this, right? This is what a lot of women think nowadays in the modern world, okay? They think that men are below their league, right? Which is telling me, and this is with no disrespect to you, that you've set your standards way too high to the point of where no man can reach your standards. That's the truth of the matter, right? I bet you've come across a couple of decent guys, and maybe, they were a nice, decent guy. They made good money. Maybe Um, they were just fun and outgoing, but you weren't physically attracted to them. Or maybe they were under a certain height, or, maybe there was something, you rejected them on based on your level of standards that have been set pretty high. You see, the women that are single, I believe you're in your 40s, Claudia, if I remember correctly. I see this a lot happening with women in their 40s and 50s. They set the bar way too high, and these women are single for many, many years. I keep going back to these dating sites, and these women are still single years later, right? And I reach out to them, I have a conversation with them, and then I get on the phone, and they're very guarded, and they're very closed off, and they're so jaded because they've tried for so long, and they've set their standards so high that no matter how good a guy is, it's not good enough. I saw your message below. I'll get to that in a second, Claudia. Claudia, but why kiss on the first day? Sometimes people are not ready, especially in times of COVID. Well, most people are vaccinated now. I'm almost fully vaccinated. I'm getting my second shot this Thursday. So it's not COVID. And let's pretend COVID didn't exist. Why kiss on the first day? If you meet a guy and you have a good time and you're attracted to him, he's attracted to you, and you're having a wonderful time, why not? Why prevent yourself the awesome feeling of being kissed by an attractive man that you like and that likes you? Claudia, with no disrespect, I think you're a wonderful person, but you set the bar for yourself way too high, and you're putting in all these unnecessary rules regarding kissing, sex, and all that, to the point of where you're scaring off every man that comes along, right? And so, we're friends, and I respect you, right? I respect you, right? But the bottom line is, I've encountered a lot of women that do the same things, approach the same way that you do. And when I encounter a woman like that, that's set the bar way too high, I'm like, okay, hey, I'm not even going to try. I know I'm a good guy, and I know I'm good enough for them, but they don't think anyone's good enough for them. So when I pick up on that, I'm like, why waste the time and energy? Let's see. Claudia says, sex is also a thing of chemistry. Don't rush it if you are not ready. Well, it is a thing of chemistry. If the chemistry's there on the first, second date, why not go for it? If the chemistry's there on a first or second date and you don't go for it, it means that you're jaded, or you're closed off, or you have some type of structured type of living, religious structure type of living. And so if it feels right, you go for it. If it feels right and you hold off because of some structured belief or something, that's going to turn off most guys nowadays. So what is the standard? The standard is whatever you set it, Claudia. I can't tell you what the standard is. The standard is what you set it, right? But here's the thing, like I said, a lot of women do this nowadays, which is why they're single for a while. If you set your standard to a level where most, if not all men can't attain it, what do you think is going to happen if you keep that such a high standard there? You got to lower your standards a little bit and say, look, hey, I'm a woman in my 40s or 50s. Like, I'm not getting any older. I'm not getting any younger. I want to find a good person. Am I being too picky? Am I expecting too much? Right? Why is nobody talking to me? Or why is everyone that's talking with me just, I'm feeling like I'm not connecting with them, right? So you have to set your standard to a level that makes you happy. But if you set the bar way too high, where no man can attain it, Claudia, then you might be single for a long time. No disrespect. That's all I'm saying. Is if you want to have happiness, you got to make some sacrifices. You can't expect every man to be the perfect man. You can't expect every man, for example, to be 6 feet tall, making a six-figure income, and having 6 inches or larger down below, and then having the patience to wait to be intimate for 5 or 10 dates, right? Right. When you put all these rules on getting to know someone, like most men will just walk away because they're like, this is going to take way too long to progress, even if it gets there, right? It's going to take way too much effort to find out if this woman, is the right fit, right? You got to make it easier for men, just like men will make it easy for you. Men and women have to make it, or should make it easy on each other. Claudia says, but Elias, you should see the profiles that are sent to me in the dating sites. Many of them are guys who just came out of prison. Am I wrong for not accepting them? Claudia, you shouldn't look at what these sites recommend you. You should go out there and do a search yourself. I go on Match.com. I click on search. I put, on age range. Typically, I put maybe 36, 37, 38 to 46 or 47 because I'm 47 years old. I put within a 100-mile radius, and then I filter out, whatever else, right? And then I go and I search profiles. I don't go to the sites that recommend you connections. You got to go out there and search who's on that site. Now, some sites don't let you search. It's about swipe left and swipe right. So Match.com is probably a better site to go to. Go there and use the search feature. Enter your search criteria, and then read the profiles, and then you decide if you feel that man's a good fit for you. I hope that answered your question. Good questions, Claudia. I'm proud of you. I swear I'm not that picky, just looking for the same that I offer. All right. No, I believe you, Claudia. Listen, this has been a great conversation. You've been one of the most active people on Facebook recently. I've had a few other people. My YouTube channel that I'm also broadcasting this on at the same time has a lot more people on it. But you've been one of the more active ones on Facebook lately, so that's great. I appreciate that. Okay, Elias, we'll follow your advice and see if I have better luck. Well, best of luck to you, and keep in touch, Claudia. Let me know what happens, and maybe you'll catch another live stream in the future, and we could catch up, or maybe we could just catch up another way through Facebook or something. But thank you so much. All right, so let me check out YouTube real quick here. Nothing else happening on YouTube. Let's get back to the last few aspects here. Folks, get your questions, comments, and concerns in the chat right now on Facebook and YouTube. I'll be going off the air very, very soon, probably 10 or 15 minutes from now. Don't be too eager. Look at that face. She's cute, but wow, she looks like a psycho. A Sicily A10, a.k.a. Specialized Cycling Club, would say, Coach, those cycle women are the best in the sack, right? Yeah, you're probably right, dude. But, dude, just trust me, you wouldn't want to stick around with one of those, right? Samira says that this is a common issue, especially among women. Online dating is making women more frustrated and men are more aloof, she said. That's because we're tired of women being overly picky and setting the bar so high that it's unattainable, right? And that they have so many other options that they throw us all on backup status and they expect us to be patient for like 6 months or something, right? After going through so many failed attempts, you start to see getting into a relationship as a test that you just can't seem to pass. Looking over some texts that I exchanged with a recent guy, Samira correctly identified this as one of my problems. I'm so tired of dating that I make myself too available to men I'm not even that sure about. Well, why are you doing that? Because you have no other better options? Maybe those guys that you're not given a chance to would be a great guy for you. You see, that's the problem I see with women. They eliminate the guys that would have been the good guy. And then, like the other guys that they're attracted to, they ghost them, right? Because they're off getting a more sexy woman or a better woman, right? it has nothing to do with the guy. It just feels like a personal failure to have something not pan out yet again. Like online dating is a claw machine rigged for me to fail. Well, ma'am, we all feel that way at times. And like I said, the reason is because we have lots of options. We have these smartphones that are attached to our hips that are sending us constant notifications. We're all talking to 5 or 10 or more people at a time, right? You're just one person in the sea of love, right? That's why the one guy that stands out and makes some effort to connect with you and has substance and may not be a GQ looking kind of guy, but is cute at a reasonable level, you should give him a chance. You see, ma'am, the thing is you're doing what most other women do. You're eliminating the guys that are making it easy for you. You're eliminating the guys that are making it easy for you because you're trying to find a more physically attractive guy that can provide the same thing. Like, I think I'm a cute, decent-looking guy. I don't think I'm a hot, sexy, exceptionally good-looking guy. I think I'm an average-looking guy. I'm just being honest with myself. I'm happy with who I am, right? So if I were to come around to this woman's world, okay, I'm fit, I'm cute, attractive, but I'm not super, super hot. Would she not give me a chance even though I have everything else to offer mentally, emotionally, and spiritually? Right? She'd look at me and say, oh, I'm just not feeling it, Eli. I'm just not feeling it. Well, you're not physically attracted to me at the way you want to be. You've set the bar way too high. So you go for the guys you are physically attracted to, the super hot guys that have tons of options with women, right? More than guys like me, right? I'll be honest about that. And now you're competing in a field that's out of your league, man. So again, it's about women raising their standards or setting their standards way too high, right? When if they just lowered their standards a little bit, you would see the whole entire online dating world shift. If women just lowered their standards even a little bit, oh my God, it would start getting so much better. It's funny to me, women saying, I can't find a good guy, right? But then the good guy like me comes around and you don't give me a chance. Why? Again, because you set the standard way too high. It's unattainable for most men. And the men that can attain it are going to play you because they have better options than you, right? So how do you fix it? Lower your damn standards a little bit. You don't have to lower them a lot. Lower them just a little bit. Be reasonable, okay? Where did I leave off here? Excuse me a second. It doesn't help that I'm selective and don't find myself attracted to a man very often. I'm just saying that. That's the same thing. Claudia, it's the same thing. No disrespect. This is how most women are. Read this line, but at least this woman's being honest. It doesn't help that I'm selective and don't find myself attracted to a man very often. You set the bar so high that no man, good looking or not, will ever qualify. Which makes someone I'm into feel more precious than they are. If you say so, man, I just think I'm a cool, normal, down-to-earth dude. I don't think I'm any better than any other guy or any other woman. I'm just me. But this is what's happening to women nowadays because of the unlimited amount of options they have. They've set the bar way too high. It's unattainable. This is why I did this piece here. This makes perfect sense. Samara suggested that I stop being so understanding of men's bad behavior. No, it's not bad behavior. We're not behaving badly. Some guys do. We're coming out and saying that you ladies have unreasonable expectations. You set the bar so high that no one qualifies. That's the bottom line. That's the truth. And I'm not going to charge you 45 grand a year or 35 $500 every 3 months to tell you that. I'll tell you that free of charge. She told me to be more patient. Well, you should be more patient, but you should lower your standards, man, and be a little more open to dating an average-looking guy with the qualities you want. Don't completely sacrifice what you want, but man, you set the bar way too high. Unreasonable expectations. I did a stream on that several weeks ago. Check it out if you'd like. Got a stream for everything. So she told me to be more patient, and then she gave me a piece of advice I want to crochet on a pillow. Separate the ego from the outcome. Okay, aka don't take it personally. This isn't a contest. No one ever said it was a contest, man. The bottom line is this. You are like most women in this world nowadays. You set the bar way too high to the point of where no man's going to qualify or going to be able to attain it, right? I'm a guy that I know is worth it for any woman, right? But when I see women that have set their expectations way too high, I don't even try. Even though I know I'm good enough, I don't even try because in your head, no guy's good enough for you. You just don't realize that. It's an excuse. If you're feeling over dating, check out these 10 signs you have dating fatigue and how to bounce back. Maybe we'll check that out another time. Number 12, last but not least, it's not just you. No kidding, ma'am. It's a lot of people going through the same thing. Claudia says okay on Facebook, and then she writes 1 minute ago. Excuse me. I need a little liquid. Elias, but men also have high standards. Like I said, they try to get girls out of their leagues, and I am not even talking about me. I read that in one article that wrote a guy about Facebook at. Here's the thing, Claudia. When you say men try to get women out of their leagues, are you coming at that from your perspective or society's perspective? Because here's the thing. I'm an average-looking guy. I own that. I'm not a GQ model type of guy, but I'm not ugly either. I'm an average-looking guy, probably like a 7 or an 8 on a scale of 1 to 10, right? Okay, maybe 7, 7.5. Right? I'm being honest with myself, right? But honestly, I don't think that any woman is out of my league. In my eyes, I don't look at women. I don't look at women as a commodity. I don't look at this as a game, right? I'm confident to the point of where if I come across a good woman and she has a good heart and personality and has a lot to bring to the table, like not financially necessarily, but from a loving and caring and considerate perspective, then I'm gonna have attraction to that woman. Now, where do I draw the line regarding physical attraction? Well, I'm not a picky person. I'm not necessarily going to date a woman that's 100 pounds overweight, but I'm not looking for a woman that's in perfect shape either. I've dated women that are 30, 40 pounds over their nominal weight. That's not being picky. There are a lot of women out there that any guy 5 or 10 or 20 pounds overweight or even 1 pound overweight, they'll eliminate the guy, right? So the thing is this, is I commend those guys that go after women that you perceive to be out of their league because they have balls to do that. That's a confident guy, in my opinion, right? Now, if they don't have much to bring to the table, if they're not financially stable and take good care of themselves, or if they're a jerk, that's a different story. But if they're a good guy that has their shit together and just average looking, and they try to get with a woman like you or a woman that perceives this guy to be out of their league, then I commend that guy for having the balls to take a chance, right? That's the thing. Like, again, this all boils down to the perspective of the woman. What does she consider to be out of her league, right? And why? And again, why are you setting the bar so high, right? Doesn't mean that you have to let a criminal, a former criminal, into your life, or doesn't mean you have to let an extremely unattractive man in your life, right? But open up your door to meeting some average everyday men, and you might find someone quicker than just looking for the cream of the crop. It was written by a guy, says Claudia. Okay, I read an article about it, so men are not making any mistakes. No, men are making plenty of mistakes. Both men and women are making mistakes. But a lot of the problems stem from the fact that nowadays, because women are liberated and they're independent and they don't need a man for survival anymore, they have more options. And so women, because of that, are setting the bar so high, it's unattainable by most men. So they end up being single. That's just the fact. I'm looking for my equal. That's all. Okay, good. If you haven't found your equal, Claudia, and you're the average everyday woman, which is fine. I'm the average everyday man. If you're the average everyday woman, then there should be no reason why you shouldn't find an average everyday guy that can bring to the table what you can bring to the table. So maybe you need to lower your standards a little bit. Maybe you need to take more chances. Maybe push your guard down. If you go on a first date and a guy is attracted to you and you're attracted to him and he wants to make out with you, then say, you know what? Fuck it. I'm going to make out with him. Do something daring and risky. Take a chance. The next time you go out with a guy that you like, take a chance. If you think he's cute and he's smart and you're having a good time, then you know what? Go look him in the eye and say, you know what? I'm having a great time with you, and I normally don't do this, but I want to kiss you right now, right? And see what happens. Loosen up, ladies, loosen up a little bit and just have fun. Hang out, have fun, hook up, and see where it goes. So a woman that wants a man that is cut is not having confidence. What do you mean by cute? So a woman that wants a man that is cute is not having confidence? No. A cute man is fine. Any man is fine as long as you give him a chance. All I've been saying is that for women that are struggling to get dates or find a good man to have a relationship with, it's because they've set the bar too high. No man will ever qualify until they lower their standards. The standards are set way too high. That's all I'm saying. All right, let's go to number 12 here. This is the last one. It's not just you. It's not just you. Whoops, too far. With all the terrible things people do to each other online nowadays, it is easy to think it is just happening to you and to let that hurt your self-esteem. Doubts start creeping in. Is there something wrong with me? Why does this keep happening to me? Why does it work out for others and not me? Am I just not good enough? If this is a woman saying this, it's because you set your standards way too high. Women can easily get dates nowadays with any man. Trust me, there are 100 thirsty men waiting to go after you, right? Now, you may not want the thirsty men, but I'm sure there's 1 or 2 or 3 decent ones that are good guys that are not thirsty in the mix. When I see women asking these questions, why does this keep happening to me? Why does it work out for others and not me? Am I just not good enough? No, you are. You're just setting the bar way too high. That's what it is. Your expectations are way too high. Lower your expectations just 10% and see how much of a difference it makes in your love life. Samira has had hundreds of clients and she's seen it all many times over. All the stuff that's happened to you, a guy seeming interested but then suddenly vanishing, A girl who texts a lot but never wants to make plans. Oh, I hate those. I eliminate them right away. If they don't want to meet fairly quickly, I'm out. I'm not going to text you and talk to you on the phone all day, every day if we're not going to hang out and see what happens. Okay? This happens to everyone all the time, even to people that society deemed to have a high mate value. Right. Even to good people, high value people, right? Even to good people like you and me, Claudia, it's going to happen to us, right? Sometimes it just happens, right? We just haven't come across the right person. But I know, at least on the female side, for the most part, this typically happens because the expectations have been set way too high. And nobody will qualify until you lower your standards. That's just my opinion. As someone who writes about dating a lot and who takes care to mask identities, people frequently share their tales of woe with me. That's good, man. A gorgeous lawyer friend of mine recently went on several dates with a man who treated her really well, only to then suddenly dump her for no reason. Another stunning, ambitious friend of mine sent some nudes to a guy who asked for them, only to never hear from him again. I can only assume he died from the sexiness. Well, your lawyer friend probably went out with a guy that was attractive, very, very attractive. This guy probably knew that if he kept on dating her, he was not going to qualify, at her, at her level. But she went out with him. Why? Because he was probably a very good looking guy. They probably had some great sex. He got sex. She got sex. And that's that, right? That's going to happen sometimes. That's what happened there. Some guys are intimidated by women that are lawyers, right? As a lawyer, your friend's probably making very good money. I'd say at least 100, 150 grand a year, maybe 200 grand a year, right? If this guy's making half of that or less, come on. And what did this guy tell your friend to get the date? He probably led her to believe that he's a wealthy man or something, right? They went on the date. They hooked up. They had a good time. Great. It was one night of fun. Could they have had chemistry? Sure. But why did this guy not call her afterwards? Because he knew that on paper or financially, she's probably making more than him. And if she found out about that, no matter what she says, it wouldn't work for her. I'd say the guy played his cards right. Now, I wouldn't necessarily meet a woman just to have sex with her, but some guys will do that and just see what happens, right? As far as the friend of yours that sent out nudes to a guy who asked, why send out nudes? I would never send nudes out over the internet. It's stupid. It's childish. It's immature. So what did the guy do? He took the nudes and he ghosted your friend, and then, he would choke the chicken, let's just call it that, every night looking at your friend's pictures. I can only assume he died from the sexiness. No. No, he's using his hand, ma'am, with your friend's pictures. That's the truth of the matter. This stuff happens to everyone all the time, and it is important to remember that even if it takes some time to get it right, rest assured it will work out in the end. All right, Diana Bruck, thank you so much for a well-written blog there. That took me 2 hours and 44 minutes to go through between including a few breaks. Queen's laughing, the crying out of laughter emoji. Let me check out Facebook one more time. Claudia says we should also analyze dating in COVID times. I think things have changed. I don't think things have changed besides people being more cautious. But now people are getting vaccinated, so things are going to go back to normal by the end of the year, Claudia, or sooner. I just think the more and more we head further into this new millennium, each and every year, it just seems to get worse. And that's because women have a lot more options nowadays. Women have been liberated. They're independent. They're making their own money. They don't need a man for survival. And because of that, women are setting the bar way too high. I'm telling you, that's what it is. Trust me, Claudia. Like, do what you're going to do. I'm not telling you or anyone else what to do. I'm just saying that a lot of women nowadays, because they're liberated, because they're independent, and because they don't need a man for survival, are going to set the bar so high to the point of where, unless you're that perfect man, no one's going to have a chance. That's just my opinion. Claudia says, show me the man, he. Well, that's on you, girl. You got to just got to keep putting yourself out there. That's what I do. I keep putting myself out there, and eventually that right one will come along when you least expect it, right? Did a stream on when you least expect things. Results will come when you least expect them. I did that the other day from a walking stream, I believe it was. So check that out if you'd like. All right, folks, let's get back over to full screen. I'm going to wrap things up here. I want to thank you all for being here. It was a great show. Information Man Show, Coach Eli, Elias Melas, peace and respect. Hey, bro, I'm just about to go off the air. Thanks for stopping by, my Sacramento area friend. Go back and check out the replay if you'd like. It was a great show. So, folks, I was going to say stick around. We'll be right back, but I'm about to go off the air. Folks, I'm going to get out of here. Have a great night. We'll see you all next time. Take care. Bye. Bye.